So I think if there's one photograph that's going to be forever associated with the police shooting of July 7th, 2016, it's going to be this photo right here in front of the Bank of America sign. And another YouTuber called my attention to this. There's a orange device being held by this officer, and we have no idea what it is, but I'd certainly be interested in learning more about what he is holding. That looks like maybe a flare gun, I don't know. But Crystal and I went down to the crime scene yesterday on Sunday, July the 10th, and this little white area here is what they had roped off. We could not get any closer than that, but we did just get our Nikon P900 with 83x zoom, and we were able to zoom in on the crime scene and look for bullet holes and broken glass. And anyway, it's really interesting that, you know, right here is where that Bank of America sign is that these guys were crouched down and hiding behind, taking cover behind that. But behind them is the parking garage where Micah Zavier Johnson, I guess, was terminated with a robot bomb. So I don't understand why they were hiding behind that, although to the left of that area is where we did find all of the broken glass. So I have a hard time understanding how Micah could have ran by all those cops on his way to the parking garage without getting shot.
Is that a cop down? Dude, that's a cop down. Dude, that's a cop down.
Yeah. There's 4 cops down.
4?
Yeah, he shot 7 times.
It's a dude?
No, it's a sniper from up here somewhere.
It's a sniper?
He's gonna shot. Get down.
So as you can see in this footage that just rolled by, those guys were recording the shooting from the parking garage where Micah Zavier Johnson evidently ran to for cover. So Crystal and I went down there yesterday on Sunday the 10th and decided to snap some pictures with our P900 Nikon, brand new camera that we just got from Amazon. And yeah, it was pretty alarming that we just couldn't find any bullet holes. We couldn't find any broken glass. None of the cars were damaged that we could see. We did find 2 broken window panes on the Bank of America building, kind of on the opposite side is where one of them was, like opposite corner of where that Bank of America sign is, where the officers were crouched down. And then we also found another one that was kind of at the end of that street. I think that's Lamar Street that runs down there, so opposite of the main street, but on the other side. But we continued to snap pictures. We walked all the way around there for a couple of hours and zoomed in and snapped pictures, and just couldn't find anything that we thought was, you know, consistent with that many gunshots being fired down there downtown, because we saw some stuff on the news that really made us think that this place ought to be shot up all to hell, and just couldn't find anything. So I'll let you guys watch all those pictures. We did find, like I say, 2 or 3 windows broken. There was one that looked like maybe it was down on a block south of El Centro, a broken window there. We found another one on El Centro, and then 2 broken window panes on the Bank of America building. But other than that, we couldn't find any bullet holes, couldn't find anything. So as we're walking down Jackson Street yesterday, we met a guy from Arlington. He knew the brother of the dark cop who was shot at point blank range. It just turns out that this guy's brother is the district attorney in Corsicana. And it seems like a lot of times with these issues, you always run into, you know, a lot of people that are connected with Hollywood, banking, or high-level government. So I don't know, it's not evidence, but it certainly is something that you got to keep in the back of your mind as you continue to investigate this thing, especially from the angle that it was completely fake. So as Crystal and I were walking around the downtown area yesterday, we did talk to several people, and we asked them, you know, do you live in the area? Were you here Thursday night? Did you see anything? Did you hear anything? We talked to several people who heard things, but we weren't unable to find any eyewitnesses of the event. We did talk to a lady at a steakhouse where we ate supper last night at the Hop Brow Steakhouse in the West End, and she said she lived in the area and heard the gunfire all night long up until about 11:30. And we asked her if she heard the explosion when they terminated Micah Zavier Johnson, and she did not hear anything. She'd already gone to sleep. So we have no eyewitnesses of the explosion that I'm aware of, and oddly, somehow the news cameras missed that explosion going off in the parking garage, as far as I can tell, because I haven't seen any video of it. So if it's out there, and I'm sure it probably is, I just haven't seen it yet. So I do find that to be strangely odd to this point in time. because as we all know, for the first time ever in U.S. history, we have used a drone to kill a citizen, and the police were the judge, jury, and executioner in this instance. That's never happened in the history of the United States before. So odd that we haven't seen any video footage of that robot bomb exploding somewhere in that parking garage. Although the camera would have been outside, you would think they'd have a video image of that explosion going off. And I haven't seen it. So if it's there, and I'm sure it probably is, I just haven't seen it yet. We did meet another black couple down there that saw us zooming in on the crime scene from a distance where the FBI agents were, and basically one of them indicated to Crystal hoax, and they had figured it out too. They're looking into this from that perspective and that angle, and very distrustful of any mainstream news story like this. So people are starting to wake up. This thing is probably going to blow up in their face. I hope it does. I hope it turns out to be a hoax. I hope no one died, obviously. And I hope this whole thing is complete and utter bullshit, which is what my spidey senses are telling me at this point. That said, we don't have enough evidence to lay claim that this was a hoax just yet. We have a lot of unanswered questions. The orange water gun that the guy was holding up towards, I guess, I don't know, some building. I don't even know. They were definitely pointed the gun up, but it wasn't pointed towards the parking garage. So I don't know where they were aiming that gun. The whole thing is just, there's enough red flags here for me to want to continue to investigate. And Crystal and I have the video cameras, and we want to do the legwork and ask the questions and interview people, but we absolutely have no idea where to begin. We were thinking we'd go down to the hospital. And one thing that we did learn last night at the steakhouse while we were having dinner is that the bartender thought that they brought all the victims over to Baylor Hospital. But I had read an article in one of the online news, mainstream news rags, that indicated they had taken them to Parkland Hospital, which is maybe a mile or two away. It would make a lot more sense to bring those victims to Baylor Hospital, which is located right downtown, so we need to look into that. But I also want to interview ER staff, and surely somebody there can say, yes, I saw this guy come in, he was bleeding, it was horrible, it was bad. And of course, anytime you go to ask people questions like that, man, it's like you want them to replay all these negative, bad emotions in the event that this thing really did happen, and it's kind of an awkward question to be asking. It's almost like asking a war veteran, did you kill anyone? So it's not a question that is, I don't know, socially normal or not strange, and it's almost confrontational to start asking people questions that would put them on the spot to prove that they saw or did not see something that we think they should have seen, being in that position at that time. So I think our next step is we want to go learn more about how this whole procedure works in terms of pronouncing people dead. If someone arrives at the hospital and is pronounced dead there, or can they be pronounced dead on the scene, we'd like to know how that works. Then how does the body get moved? Does the hospital call the coroner? Does the coroner come and get the body? Does the hospital have to transport the body over to the coroner's office? Were autopsies done? Death certificates, when do those things get created? We'd like to learn more about how this procedure works and continue to ask questions. I definitely want to take that picture of those officers crouched down below that Bank of America sign and present that to someone over at the Dallas Police Headquarters building and ask for an explanation about what is that orange thing that guy's holding. So those are some of the angles we're kind of leaning towards going towards next. But if anybody has any suggestions at all in terms of who we should be talking to, what kind of questions we should be asking them, then please by all means leave your comments, because if you're suspicious of this story as we are, we want to get to the bottom of it and expose it for what it is if it wasn't indeed a hoax. So I'll let you guys continue to look at these pictures we took, and thanks for watching.